Welcome to Markie's World. I'm Markie Shinn, and my guest today is Lynette Thomas. And she also has brought two other friends with her. And who are these beautiful girls?
They're my sorority sisters, my aces of both of my sororities, Sierra Hall and Jalen Ramsey.
Okay, so we're going to have to speak a little bit louder because we get some forces around us that we get over, there's so much going on over here. So, okay, and are they into what you're into?
They are not really into civics, but they're very much into making sure that their events are service of mankind.
Okay, human mankind. Okay, so now, the reason why Lynette is here is because I was out grocery shopping one day and I ran into her and she was getting names for petitions. And what were you telling me, Lynette? Tell me what your goal is.
Well, my goal is to make sure that Chicago Public Schools expand special education programming and funding. And what I mean by that, it encompasses mental health support, making sure students are able to do meditation or practice their religion in a safe space in the school, making sure that if students need a time off, that there is a time off where students can have a mental health day, because there is a lot of trauma involved in being someone from Chicago.
You know, and that's something to think about, because a lot of grown-ups now are taking stress or psych days off, and mental health days, they call it mental health. Now the children, that's something that I did not think about. I know that children come from homes that are not quite
nuclear families. There's not a lot of nuclear families in Chicago.
Yeah. Look at her. She look like a little baby.
I'm 32.
But she look like a little baby. She's a little baby. And you think that 32 is old, don't you?
Yeah, I'm grown, child. I'm grown.
You think, wait a minute, when I made 32, I thought, I didn't want to tell anybody that my birthday was coming up. I'm going to be 32 years. That's like saying I'm going to be 100 years old.
I know, right?
I know. Now I'm 42. No, I'm a whole lot more than that. But good grief, I see that. Don't take it so hard, because 32 is, we're meant to live 120 years. So let's do that. So 32, that's the beginning. I'm halfway. So, okay, now, well, what made you? Is that something that, this is the first time anybody ever, is that something new that's come up about mental health days and thinking about the child? Nobody really thinks about the child.
I don't know if it's new, but it's a concern for me, because I know there are teenagers in CPS and even smaller children in CPS that do get stressed out, because school is like a 9 to 5 for them too. They're expected to meet deadlines and scoring evaluations based on standardized tests, and they're always tested at every point of the academic year. Me being a parent, I know that out of the entire year, I see tests we have PSATs coming up, we have I-readies coming up, and this is more than once out of the year. When I was in school, we got tested probably once a year for the Iowa test.
We did.
And, and they're getting tested every 3 months, doing benchmark quarterlies.
Wow.
Yeah, they're
tested. A lot. It's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure, and then you have a lot of students that want to go to like HBCUs and things like that, and they are very good academically.
You say
HBCUs.
What is that?
Historically Black colleges and universities.
Oh Lord, I'm so far behind. Oh, okay. Girl,
like Howard.
Listen, when you're talking to other people of different generations, you got to kind of like everybody, and this is the absolute truth. everybody is using abbreviations.
Yes.
But you gotta let us know what the abbreviations are. But, okay, but some of these children are coming from really bad places when they go go home, and then they get up in the morning, they go to school, and they come back home. You don't know what they're going home to.
Yeah, they cross gang lines, which is a problem for me because CPS closed 50 schools back in the Ring 10, and even though we're on a moratorium right now for closing schools, those schools that were closed were between gang lines.
Mm-hmm.
And CPS ignores the fact that there are gang territories and pretends that there's not gang territories in our black and brown communities. So students will have to be friends with someone that's from that side of town at their school in order to be safe to cross those lines. My 16-year-old one day, she said that she heard a girl on the bus say, who feel like getting beat up today? Ooh. And she's like, she didn't think no one was saying, like, was referring to her. So the girl, she gets up and is getting off the bus, and the girl pushes her off the bus. So my teenager, she's a very docile person. She's a genius student, like a high-scoring student, but she don't play that.
Right, okay.
So of course she got back on the bus and never had that problem again. So
yeah, that's
just
what you
those,
do.
yeah, just those things like that. So,
but see, some people don't have that ability.
Yes.
When I was coming up, people used to try me because I was little. And they would try me because I'm little, I'm yellow, I've got straight hair, you know. And they were really like, oh, I want to, but they didn't know that I was crazy too. I was screened and found out about sooner than later, because sometimes that don't work.
It doesn't. And CPS has these things called SECAs, SECA, but they're like a personal assistant to the students that need extra help.
Oh, okay.
And some schools don't get SECAs.
Oh, okay.
But every student, if they do their evaluation, their IEP evaluation, every student is afforded a SECA. Like they can get one. But it's parents, I need CPS to start educating parents on the rights of them and their students.
That makes sense.
Because IEPs are only supposed to take 14 days. It's a parent that I talked to recently, she's been waiting 2 years for her child to get their IEP, and that is not right at all.
Oh my God.
I thought it was a long time that my child took to get her IEP, and to hear someone say 2 years, what? And all I did, when I realized they were taking too long, I said, okay, I'm going to have to take legal action now. And I got a response same day.
What do you think that you could do? Well, first, tell me the whole layout. What is it that you want to do or you want to see happen?
I want to see the IEPs and 504 plans. If the child gets to school in August, by October at the latest, that plan should be implemented and should be done.
And that makes sense because you're able to watch them, because you have to make out a plan for nurses. It takes that I can't think of it in my head. Yeah, I'm retired now, but it takes about 3 months. First it takes the seven days, then it takes the RAIs and all that, MDS and all that. Then 7 days. 7 days you do a form. Then 3 months after that, you know, and then go on to a year or whatever. So that makes more sense if it should be in place that we need to first, when they first get in, let's say about a week, and then after that every 3 months.
Because a teacher knows when that child enters their room for that first week of school, they're probably not doing any coursework.
I'm looking.
For the first week of school, they're probably not doing any coursework. The second week, that full week that they're doing coursework, a teacher can tell that the child has a delay. And the parent knows their child. Some parents are in denial. Some children are clearly autistic. And they're so scared of the stigma that something's wrong with their child. There's nothing wrong with the child with autism. They just learn different. They're neurodivergent. And I want to stop, I need to help the community.
That's the same as dyslexic.
I want the community to know, to stop calling them LD, because I talk to a lot of people like, oh, that's from them LD kids. Every kid is not an L learning disabled like that.
Right, oh, yeah.
It's neurodiversity, because even me, myself, as an adult, I have an adult IEP in my university. That's what we call it, accommodations, because I learn different.
Right.
And I probably take a little bit extra time than other students. But I'm also still a very brilliant student.
Right.
Like, you're going to get the same results out of me that you're going to get the student that will turn in theirs on time. You're going to get the same results out of me, but I just needed a little bit more time because it's about focusing.
So what do we have to do to implement these things?
The community needs to be aware of it. Parents needs to be aware of it and stop being in denial about their children. There's a lot of parents in denial about it. CPS needs to provide the funding and make sure that the students are getting what they need. It's like we give so much focus on general ed students. They don't need that much help. They don't need the help and the one-on-one like a student that is neurodivergent.
So with the community, how would you start to give the information, put the information out to them, or how would they learn? Or, I mean, because sometimes it's just a matter of just people understanding what's going on, and we don't even get information. I didn't even know what some of those things that you said. I didn't know what those were.
So I would like for CPS,
it's like this thing, everybody got initials.
For CPS, I think that since we have 10 districts and all those 10 districts within CPS have sub-districts, so it's not 1A and 1B, always to 10A and 10B. We do need to have community forums to let community members know and be able to identify, because maybe you have a little cousin that has autism, but the mother doesn't recognize, because the mother could be autistic herself.
Oh, that makes sense. And
doesn't even realize that something is different about her child. Or it's like, because a lot of parents are like, oh, sit your butt down. They can't sit down because they have ADHD. Their brain is telling them they need to move, they need to do something.
And some people, that's the only way they know how to handle a situation, by howling and screaming or hitting.
Because they don't know any better.
Right.
But if we sit there and we educate the community on signs of autism or signs of stimming, because a lot of kids do like this, or they want to play with a fidget spinner, and that your kid wanted to do stuff all the time, that's a sign that you need to get your child evaluated.
Yeah.
Or tell your cousin, hey, get Tristan over there evaluated.
Yeah, you never know.
They're going to argue with you probably, but
it's
best to let them know, like, no, I heard from CPS, they just had a forum down the street for the community to be awake, because sometimes it's just kids walking down the block looking like they're crazy. They're not even crazy. They literally probably have autism or Asperger's, and there's no support there, and there's no awareness of it. So if we get the community to be aware of the signs of these different neurodivergent.
So this is what you're doing right now? You're working with the community?
That's what I would like to do, is to work with the community based on the districts. The district that I'm serving is District 9. So when we get there to the seat and the board member, I do want to open it up so not only the teachers are involved, not only the parents are involved, but the community. Let this be a community thing.
Well, don't they have
CPS
like meetings with the police?
Like
I might be
CAP meetings.
Way back. I didn't even want to say CAPS. Do they still have that?
They still have CAPS meeting, but sort of like that, a CAPS meeting.
But you know what? And that might be where you need to start first, because the police officers may not, like you said, coming down the street, they may be acting differently, or they may say something differently, and you don't know. And the police may not be able to say, oh, you know what, I read on this, we had a little in-service on this, or this right here looks like this guy might be autistic, or this guy's having some type of learning disability. They don't see it. You hear it all the time, how they, I hate to say
Well,
it.
the police thing is, we got like accountability boards and stuff like that, and there's a deficit there's a budget, not a deficit. CPD has 1.8 billion extra dollars that could go to social workers and mental health support.
And to people like you that's trying to, you could give training.
Those people, they have that money for extra bodies, like extra officers. That money can actually go to these more social workers and mental health workers, and we can partner with those people, because a lot of community members are scared and traumatized by the police department. So maybe sitting them in the same same room would not fare well with some community members.
Yeah.
So to have it,
I see what you're saying.
To have those.
Now that right there is a situation and an issue in itself. Because like I said, I don't even want to use the word. I don't even, I mean, hopefully they can get this stuff taken care of, and you got to start from scratch all the way from the bottom on up.
Yeah, they're trying to do more things like community policing. So community police officers are supposed to be one with the community and to learn their community and know like the people around that community. So if we get more community police officers that look like us, and by us I mean whatever community you're in, you have the community police officers that look like you.
Right.
That are able to relay the messages back to.
And you may feel like you could go to them
Yes.
and say, oh, I'm in trouble.
Yes.
Or I need help. This guy is following me. Anything, you know where to go to, or they used to tell you could go to anybody. You could go to the mailman. You could go to the UPS man. Now you go to one of these men, it's gonna be crazy.
So I just want to, and another thing I want to.
How are you feeling as far as your progress, or can you look forward and seeing things gonna change?
Yes. So there's people like, if we both get there, there's people like Shay Smith, Ron Fest, and he has a vision that's similar to mine. If we can get everybody that's sitting in the board to come together, those that will be elected and those who have similar district issues, to form committees, I think that CPS can be transformative. CPS can be a model of what U.S. and globally what education should look like on behalf of the kids, because at the end of the day, CPS services the children and not themselves. CPS is not here for the teachers. CPS is not here for the board members. CPS is not here for the mayor. CPS is here for the children, the future.
Okay, so now, do you work for CPS?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you ever go to the person that's over the principals? You know who that is?
President?
Yeah, what's his name?
I can't think of his name right now.
Okay, I'll tell you later. Okay, so you might have to start at the top and then work your way down.
So he won't be the president next year.
Oh.
Yeah, so the what's happening right now, we're electing a new board. I don't know why I can't think of this man's name.
French name?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I speak French, so it's not a French name.
Okay.
It's actually a Latin name, and I can't think of it in my head. It's like cloudy right now.
Okay.
But the newly elected board is a new initiative that Governor Pritzker just signed last year to have, instead of appointing them, this the first ever CPS elected board.
Okay.
Every other district in Illinois has an elected board.
Okay.
This will be CPS's first time being elected.
Oh,
10 will be elected, 11 will be appointed by the mayor for the first 2 years. It's like this the test run.
Okay.
And then after the first 2 years, the next 6 years will be all elected. All 21 seats will be elected. So what me and others are trying to do, like Shay Smith, is make sure that CPS is being held accountable, and us that will be in the seats, we are holding ourselves accountable to the children.
I mean, that is wonderful. I very rarely hear something like that. That is really nice. Okay, so tell the audience what you would like for them to do to help us with this, because they have to help us.
Just go to whatever district you may be in. Read up on the people that are running, and learn what their agenda is, and you can go to their background if you want to. Learn what their agenda is and make sure that it's in your voting in your interest and in the interest of your children. And if you don't have children, vote as if, because they're going to be on your ballot regardless if you have a child or not. Look them up, because those people will shape the future of Chicago, because whatever rules and things they put in place, it goes back into our children. And our children will be the product of what these people, including myself, will make happen. And you want somebody that is going to fight to make sure these children are off the street, are being supported, are going to be a member of society, a productive member of society. You want to make sure that these people actually care, that it's not for political gain. It's not for them just to have their name on something, that it's not just a little another notch on their belt. Make sure that these people actually do the work and you hold them accountable. If we have these meetings and things, you go out to those meetings and you talk to people that, even if you don't have a child, you talk and let them know, hey, I'm tired of the kids running up and down this block right here. Can we have a community, because there's a lot of community organizations out there. Can we make sure that this community organization is tied in with Gillespie Academy, and make sure that at least 50 of these students, because they run around, they don't have nothing to do. This community organization, all those community organizations have funding that some of them got funding that's exceeding, and they don't have enough children. But if CPS was to partner with these community organizations, that stops some of the budget deficit, in my opinion, because instead of trying to find something for after school matters, you have a lot of nonprofits in the city of Chicago that have the space, the funding, and the expertise on how to help our children. So I just want Chicago to actually care about the children as if they were your own.
And you know what? And you have to build your school up.
Yes.
You really have to remember what we were talking about. When you're in school, we used to like, oh, that's a good school right there. I'll go to that school. I want to go to that school. You know, you have to, it's a reason why you have to build your school up and get a reputation. It don't take much, but just to be involved. You know, just trying to do the right thing. And that's what you have to do, and that's what they have to start now. And I got a couple of teachers in my family right now, and the things that they're telling me that's going on in these schools are crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And, you know, they don't even have someone to speak Spanish to these. Now we got Venezuelans and Mexicans and everything else, and you know,
they call them new arrivals.
New arrivals. Oh, okay. That sounds like a sci-fi show. New arrivals. Okay. The new arrivals.
Yeah, they're called new arrivals, and that's another thing about that. There are not a lot of bilingual speakers in CPS.
Right.
And languages in CPS. We do need languages that's relevant to our communities to be offered in CPS. Like, I can speak Spanish and French.
Okay.
But can the teachers that are around, like, they can have a Spanish interpreter in the school
Well,
to work alongside the teacher, a teacher's aide.
Yeah, my niece is she speaks Spanish, and she has her own class. However, they keep dragging her out of her class
Exactly.
to go to somebody else problem that have having a problem here. That this is what's going on, but they need to have more
Support staff.
Now, if you have a certain amount of money for all these schools, and you tear all these schools, you close them all down, what happens to the rest of the money that was going into these schools? What's going on? And how come these kids don't have music and art classes? What's going on?
They will say, like, oh, it's not viable, the program is not getting enough students. But it's not just the program is not getting enough students. Are you all making it a safe environment for the students to even want to come? Or are you even providing the funds for the instruments and things like that?
Right.
Like, students shouldn't be walking around with dilapidated instruments,
Right.
or should have to pay for their instruments, because it's so much art endowments and so many other community organizations, national organizations that are willing to help. Because Chicago is a market, the number 3 market in terms of media. So imagine a company like SC Johnson, and we have students at Corliss that want to do hair.
Right.
SC Johnson probably have some funding in there to make sure that the cosmetology class, because that's what I want, bring back vocations, but relevant vocations. These kids like to do music production, they want to do media production, they want to be CNAs and RNs, they want to do hair. Like, make it relevant to the
Right.
students you're servicing in this day and age.
Right. Yeah.
And actually go out and get that grants and funding. There's so many grant writers and so many people that do research to say that there's not enough funding, and there is enough funding if you actually go out and get it.
If they will allow you, they have so many corners that they block you at for getting a grant. I really was trying to say, but you're not coming from a sister's business. You got to go through this. You got to go through that. You got to be in business for 2 years. It's so many things that are just blocking you. It's a whole lot. There's a whole lot I would like to do, but I'm limited. I'm just limited. That's why I pick up people like you. So you can do your thing, and then I say I help, and whatever I can do to help you. That's what I do.
Yeah, we can. It's enough grant writers and it's enough researchers. These people went to school for this.
Right.
They went to school to be a researcher.
And then the grant writers, they want to charge $1 million before they even write it. I'm like,
That there's grant writers. It could be a grant writer in your janitorial staff. It can be a grant writer as one of your seekers. It could be a grant writer as one of your social workers. It could be your principal probably have grant writing from just doing a public administration course at her school.
right.
Or
I
his
was
school.
trying to get something like that for here because I wanted to teach audio, graphics,
To students.
movies, making movies, all that. Something dried my mouth out, my throat out. Oh, Lord have mercy, it's so cold up in here. Woo! Woo. Yeah, so, but when I tried with the grants, it's just expensive. It's expensive even just trying to get them. I thought you should include that in the budget, say, and then when I get my money, then you get yours.
So Harold Washington, that's the library downtown, right? Harold Washington has a grant library.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
And you go down there and learn.
And you can go down there and learn for free
Oh, okay.
how to and know all the grants that you
Did you
need
hear
to
that?
apply for.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
The city does I can't even think of the treasurer right now,
Uh-huh.
but she does a lot of initiatives for business owners.
Uh-huh.
And she does a lot of like classes and stuff and things like that for grants and business adaptations. So there's
But see, a lot of things we don't know about.
exactly.
You know, it's a whole lot of things. How come we don't know about it? Well, we got a little pamphlet. Well, where is it at? It's over at this library on the corner or something. You know, how come we don't have this? You know where you should put anything that you want to put in that reader newspaper? That reader is everywhere. Everybody reads it. Put whatever you want to put in there in that newspaper. That's a good place to start.
That's for the seasoned saints. The younger saints.
Oh, the season.
That's for the seasoned
What you
saints.
talking about? What you talking about? Season? What season mean?
Season means
She
the
talking
sweetness.
about?
You know, the
That
savory.
we've been out here for quite some time.
Yeah, the ones that ain't got the milk behind their ears no more.
Oh.
The ones with the milk behind their ears still. In order for them to get a lot of, they're like this all day long, facing the phone.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if the city services be the first thing that pop up on that media, this I'm interested in this. It's all about PR for a lot of stuff.
I can understand that because even though I'm seasoned, listen, I don't read anymore. I do everything off my computer and off of my phone because you can open it up, you can make it bright, you know, you can do a whole lot of stuff. I can't see myself reading anymore, and that's all I did every day. Now I cannot do it. It's just the words are too little. So maybe they should think about that. And another thing for us seasoned people, I need to tell you this. When I go to the store, they have all these things on sale, this food, and they said digital. I'm like, huh?
Digital coupons.
You can buy this for 99 cents, but if it's not the digital, you're not using the digital discount, you have to pay $2.99. I'm like, well, how come I'm not getting this? What is this all about? So you need to outreach to these seasoned people. Those gonna be, you know, people that's more like me, that's moving around, that's alert, talking, don't have no medical problem. Talk to them, and then see what, you know, they'll probably be the ones that'll go out helping you a lot more than these little young ones. Am I right? Maybe.
Maybe they're good. I think more seasoned people are good with like word of mouth and actually going out and voting. Like they're going to vote. They got their opinions and you need to talk to them in order to get what you want out of them. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
they like from Missouri. You better show me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I get that from Miss Nipple, my second grade teacher. She used to be like, I'm from Missouri. You gotta show me, honey.
That is so wonderful. So, we're gonna end this now, and I want you to come back in another time when you're ready, and when we're not so under construction, because it's really a beautiful place here. It's not so under construction. Come back and I really had a great time with you. I love having you here. I knew she was going to be filmy. I told her that. I told her you were going to like it. And then just come back and tell us where you are and what you need us to do for you. And I'm always here for you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So let's say goodbye to Lynette Thomas. And see you later. Okay. I'm so proud of you. But I'm really proud of you too. So you guys are, hold on here.
Yeah, I got this from her nursing orientation.
Wait a minute, let me turn my camera around to y'all. We gonna let's turn this camera around to these girls. Oh, there they go. So, welcome to Markie's world. Welcome to Markie's world. Oh, and look at who we got here with us. Lynette, pull up a seat. Pull up a seat. Well, you didn't, oh, go ahead. Lynette cutting out on us. My guest is, what's your name?
Sierra Hall.
Sierra Hall.
And Jayla Ramsey.
And Jayla Ramsey.
Yes.
Now, these are nursing students.
Mm-hmm.
So what nursing school are you going to?
Chicago State's nursing program.
In New York, New York State.
So I started off at Chicago State. Now I go to Indiana Northwestern.
Oh, okay. Girl, I was everywhere. I went everywhere. I started out as I never had a job, and I wanted to do something. But I was already into school for nursing, and then they came up with CNA, and I said,
Yeah.
I said, I don't know anything about CNAs. And when I found out how important CNAs were,
Yes.
so while I was waiting to go to school see, back then, to get into a nursing school, you had to be in it's a waiting list for nurses, right?
Yeah.
It was a wait. Do they still have it?
Sometimes, well, now it's a little bit different. Now we do applications and stuff. So if you put, it's a certain deadline.
Kind of process.
Yeah.
So did you all understand that we have a shortage of nurses and how important it is to have you guys out here?
Most definitely, especially if we have another epidemic or pandemic like COVID. They were very much needed nurses. They needed nurses in every staff.
Yeah, and you know
every department.
Kind of pushed me to even want to go into nursing because my mother's a nurse and seeing her fly out to Texas because they needed extra hands.
Yeah.
And
that's when you're gonna learn what's going on in the world. Your mother will tell you a lot of things are not gonna sound right, but as a nurse you will understand that people are pulling wolves. You know the wolf. What do they call it?
The wolf's clothing.
Okay,
I know what you're talking about.
We retarded nurses. What is the what's the initial for that?
Oh my God.
Let's keep them in school for nursing. So you do understand that it's a shortage. It always has been. Did you hear where they're getting rid of a lot of those nurses because they had fake IDs?
Yes, I've heard about that, and then they also mentioned that a lot of nurses are getting fired from being online and sharing information about their patients that they shouldn't. That's HIPAA violations.
That
What
is
we
so
learned
stupid.
in
That
school,
is so stupid.
but a lot of people are.
But that's
going
okay.
against
You
that.
know why? Because only the best needs to remain, and then they're going to weed out the worst ones. And so if you all see that that's something that you should not do, don't put none of your business on there because your boss is going to go up there and look at your thing, and they're going to find out everything about you. Nursing is not, I'm so glad that you all got into it, but because it's not where they want you to be, it's where you want to be. When you finish school and you apply for a job, then they're going to ask you, is it okay if you work these days and these hours? When do you think you can come in? Right? So anyway, but to have somebody, a child go into your footsteps, that is really nice. To follow you, that's really nice. You'll never be without a job, and you can do whatever kind of work you want.
that's something else too. Definitely the job security that I thought about when choosing a career.
You can do teaching. You can just do. You really don't even have to be. When I realized this, I said, hey, I don't have to be on these floors. And when I came back, when you're doing those clinicals and your feet be hurt.
Oh man.
You all do not know Cook County Hospital got the hardest floors. Your feet be hurt. You be breaking in those $100 shoes. Like in a matter of months, like, oh, these shoes ain't no good no more. And I realized, I was like, when I get out of here, I don't want to do this kind of nurse right here. So I started doing other type of nursing.
Yeah.
You can work from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. you know, you could do any type of social nursing, any type of drug addiction. Just a whole lot of stuff where you don't have to.
Different departments. You're not stuck in one element. You were able to move around in that same field.
Right, and a whole lot of less chances of trouble around you because it's some bad nurses out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh yeah,
I've seen it.
and clinical
Like
sites.
clinicals. Yeah.
The nurses that are
What
overrun.
clinicals you all been through?
Let's see.
Northwestern?
No, so what's the hospital that you went to before you transferred? I started off my clinical.
Fields. I can't remember what the name of the hospital was.
Oh, well, I did mine in don't know. Let me see. Oh, Forest maybe, wherever Franciscan is. Franciscan Hospital is. That's where I did my clinicals at. My clinical instructor, Miss Rosalind. I love Miss Rosalind. She was actually very helpful and she's very nice and sweet. But I know I've heard like other stories within my classmates that their clinical instructors are like really like nasty to them, like snobby, or like they're just no help at all. And it's like
And the
that.
doctors.
And the doctors, yeah.
And the doctors.
I didn't really run into the doctors much, but I did do clinicals at Jackson Park, and Jackson Park was like a completely different situation.
Oh,
a
yeah,
whole
I
different
know.
environment. I mean,
I went to, I had clinicals at, I went to all of them, all the hospitals, and then I went to Roseman. And that was
Oh, yeah.
really, that was an experience.
you know, I know the hospital it has its reputation, but to be in there, they have some very, very dedicated nurses. They're
And
great
Roseman
teachers
or
at Jackson Park.
at Jackson Park.
Great teachers. They give us real experiences. It's very hands-on. I feel like I learned the most when it came to application from what I was seeing in class at Jackson Park to those.
Well, now remember now, I'm seasoned. This happened, this is recently, she's talking recently, and she's saying a lot of things. I like what you said. This is gonna be a great nurse. And both of you all are because you're excited about it. How long you all got to go?
About 2 more
Up and
years.
down.
2 more years?
About 2 years, yeah.
Oh, that's okay, that's okay. It's gonna go by, these next 2 years, it's gonna go fast.
Yeah, I hope
It's gonna
so.
go really fast.
I hope so.
I'm still kind of deciding where I want to go into, because I've been kind of focused on going into pediatrics, but I just know me, and I'm a crybaby, and I do not know how I would be able to take seeing children in the same kind of situation. that I've seen
I tried that
adults.
too, and I couldn't get into kids. I couldn't get into kids. And it's a double lawsuit there, because once the parent can sue. And then
And
once
when
they
they
get
get older,
older,
they
they
can
can
sue.
turn around and sue.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing too. Oh shoot, what was I going to say? This that happens when you season. This is what happens when you season. What kind of seasoning did she put on there? What season? Seasoned. Okay. But when you can do, you train for everything. So you can do pediatrics for a hot second, just to see what it's about.
Yeah.
Then you can go, and then you can make yourself a specialty nurse. Just train people. Infection, that's what I did, a lot of training classes. I just went for places, infectious diseases, blood-borne pathogens, you know, all that type of stuff. Then you just go around and you know,
Experiment really, and see what you like.
and people like that. But remember this, whatever you do, remember everybody, when you came out with a lot of people. So don't let that be the end. Make sure you get a lot of CEUs up, make sure you get a lot of certificates, be getting all those things now. So when you go for that job, distinguish yourself. And you say, well, I also could do this and I also could do that. Then you're gonna come in with more money than what they come in, because you've made yourself a lot more valuable than just the average person.
Well, unlike her, I don't want to do pediatrics at all, because I don't want to see no kid or hurt. I can't do that.
Right.
But I know, even though in the department I'm going to, I probably will have children. I want to be an emergency nurse in an emergency department. I want to eventually be a nurse practitioner. So I want to continue my education and be an emergency nurse practitioner.
Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah, I want to be in the emergency room. I like to be busy on my feet. I just feel like I'm gonna get bored if I'm not. I don't mind seeing a little bit of guts
But you know what,
blood.
and that sounds good. That's how I was when I first came out. I wanted to do all of that type of stuff. But then I realized
You get
that type
tired.
of stuff, yeah. And you committed, they literally commit you to these double shifts and stuff.
Mhm.
Then, when it comes time to your niece, your nephew, your son, graduating, being at home, you're not gonna
Yeah,
be
you
there.
don't have time.
So you have the opportunity to have the dates and times the way you want to. But it's good to learn it all to be there. That way, like, you can learn how to, you can do that, and you can be a skincare nurse or any
Yeah.
type, you know, you could do wound care, you could do all sorts of stuff. Just learn everything.
Yeah.
So when you say, I got this underneath my belt, you have it all underneath your belt. They say, well, she's so, she's smart. Okay, well, I am so proud of you all.
Thank you.
But say goodbye to everybody. And hopefully that she got these two girls have got a lot of, made a lot of other women or men think, because my son is a nurse too,
Mhm.
make them think hard about becoming nurses. You really want to become a nurse.
Yeah. I've wanted to be a nurse since I was like little. Actually, it's always been instilled in me. From what my grandmother has told me, I never got a chance to meet my grandfather. He passed before I was born, but he was a nurse. Actually, my stepmom is a nurse as well. But yeah, I've always wanted to be a nurse because my grandmother has always been sick since I was little, and I was always going to the hospitals with her. And I was always like so curious of like, you know, what were they doing to my grandma? Like at the time I didn't know what blood pressure cuff was. Like, oh, what are y'all doing? And they would actually like let me pretend like I was taking her blood pressure and stuff. So it just really was instilled to me since I was younger. Like I've always wanted to just help people. That's all I want to do is just help people. I get a very big joy and happiness
And
when I
that
make
sounds like
people feel
my
good.
story, because my grandmother had a heart attack or a stroke. I think she had a stroke. And I saw her in bed, and this was a woman that everybody in my family just loved and adored. And she was laying there in urine.
Yeah.
And nobody was taking care of her. We had been sitting up there for hours before somebody even came in. And so we were like, well, what's going on? Then about 3 days later, we came up in there, and she had a decubitus ulcer. So it's like, oh, I said, when I get older, I'm going to become a nurse.
Yeah.
All you want to do, people that you come in contact with, make a difference.
Yeah.
You can't change everybody, but believe me, that person that you come in contact with, you go into his room, make a difference. When I told you that I had started out as a CNA,
Yeah.
and I saw how important that nursing field is, and I was waiting for I was waiting to get into the other nursing school. So then I said, they said, this was my first time on the job, walking in, and you're doing that orientation. And I said, she said, the girl that was orientating me, she said, the nurse just came out of here and she left all this stuff on the floor, and she didn't even bother to pick it up. And I thought about it, I said, she wasn't supposed to. That's our job.
Yeah.
That is our job. We're supposed to do that. And then I started looking. The nurses was coming up in there with their fur coats on, and everybody bringing them their little candy. Look, I'm really just candy and food and cards, and some people give you money and just all sorts of little. It was just a beautiful thing. I was like, ooh, it's really nice to be a nurse. But the CNAs, they're kind of like, you know, but they are actually the ones that you have to rely on because they know. So do you know those CNAs act like they have been to school for everything, like they got PhDs in nursing, and they actually do have the knowledge. They know what they're talking about, and you have to rely on them.
My mom definitely told me, she said, when you get there, do not be one of those stuck-up nurses. You need your CNA.
You need them because they know. They be like, should I turn that IV down? You know, they be doing all, I wouldn't let nobody do that in my job. But they know how to do everything. They are so valuable. But when I was training for that, I didn't stay a CNA for a long time. When I was training for that, I said, I can't wait to become a nurse. And they were like, she didn't try to help me, but I said her job is other things.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that when a nurse come into your room, she be in there for a hot second. And then they say, well, did the nurse come in? Yeah, she was just in there for 1 minute and then she left. What she said, she didn't say nothing. What she do? She didn't do nothing. She just did something on there and walked away. But let me tell you what she did.
Analyze.
When she's good at observing. She came in, she looked at the IV. She made sure that it wasn't, anything wrong there. She looked at you, she looked at everything. She went by abnormalities. Did I see anything? And she didn't see anything. How you doing today? Oh, okay, you doing good? That's fine. Input, output, everything. And she walked out. She did 100 things before you even knew it.
Yeah.
And now she get ready to go write down all those 100 things. And then she got to contact the doctor just in case she did see something. So it's a lot that a nurse does that people don't recognize. But the worst ones, they will be. You can catch them. They eventually fall off.
Yeah.
They'll eventually fall off. They won't be able to stay around too long. You catch them.
Yeah.
They're really good. I learned a whole lot from CNAs.
Oh yeah.
Learned a whole lot. So that was nursing 101. So I hope you come back and you all let me know how things are going and some of the cases, because you're going to start in your second year. You are really going to be into it. You're going to start getting these cases and you're going to be doing everything. I can't wait.
So, like when we first started, they give us case studies on VSIM, and it's like everything is virtual. So it's like you have a virtual patient, you have to go in. It's like an assimilation lab, but it's online. You have to go in, you have to click your avatar to wash his hands. You got to identify yourself first, identify the patient. Like they get you ready and prepared to be in clinicals, to work in the hospitals. And we get graded on that online. If we miss a step,
if you just come in and say my name is,
if you ain't wash your hands, this points off like they don't play.
You didn't scan the
IV, check the medication, or anything like that to make sure that you're talking to the right patient before you administer that medication to that person. Points off.
Seven rights.
Yeah.
Make sure. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's now that sounds like that's interesting. Since I'm seasoned again. I don't know anything about that. So can anybody, you got to be a student to, I would love to go in there and just play.
I think, I've never,
I hadn't heard of it till class.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it till class, but I'm sure it's called VSIM, a simulation lab. So I'm sure if you just type that in, you'll probably be able to find something. I think it's accessible to other people, but we just had it through our school.
Well, what I want you all to do is come back and get deeper into it. I want you all to come back and let me know how you all are. Probably when you get into you're in your second year now?
We're going into our second year.
So when you get into your third year, between your third and your fourth year, when things get rough, come back and let me know.
It's already getting rough, right?
It's already getting rough. Yeah, it's going to be getting rough. It's going to be rough, but hang on in there. It's going to be worth it because it's not going to be all what you think. And everything is not going to be all the time. Like, did you all start on the the medications, the pharmacology?
Oh, slightly, yeah.
So the medication, the way you're going to do that medication, that math is different from any kind of math you've ever encountered.
Like the dosage calculation?
Yeah, you're not going to, they don't have that anywhere except for in there, for medical. So you got to really kind of learn that. And then you got to also learn that, remember when you was in school and to get an A, you memorized everything.
Yeah, you
can't memorize this.
Yeah.
You have to know exactly how the toe is connected to the foot, and the foot is connected to the ankle, and you have to be able to visualize it and see how it works, and then you got to know how it works
in the body. Everything is connected. You can't skate past the nursing school. It's not gonna fly.
Okay. Well, let's say goodbye. Bye-bye. That was good, thank you. Yeah,
It wasn't recording.
It wasn't on her.
it wasn't on me?
Yes.
It wasn't on me or what?
It wasn't on you.
Oh, that's okay then. That's all right. But it's on her. Then as long as they got a, I had a nice time with you all.
I did too. Fun.
You all will be on a separate, even though I'm out of it. You know what, because I just put it over here on them, and I had you to sit down too. I could have, if you would have sat down, then I would have,
Been able to fix your camera.
but that's okay. You all will be on a separate one. It's just entry of nursing school. I did nursing schools before. A nursing school, I forget what's the name of it. CNA or something, certain. I forgot, but it's an actual real nursing school, but it's called CNA, I think. It's out in the suburbs.
It's just a school for CNAs, right?
It's for nursing.
Oh, no. Okay, I know what you're talking about this.
The C means something else, not
No, I think I'm
Not-
like seen.
not certified nursing assistant. The C means something.
Chamberlain?
No, that's the next one. I can't accept
I
the
forgot
Chamberlain
what it
too.
It's an older black lady, 74 or 44, 47. It's over there, out there, I think like at Olympia Fields or something.
Olympia Fields, that's where Franciscan was my clinical study. I'm glad you just
Oh,
said that.
okay.
Yeah, Olympia Fields.
I'm
That's what I
saying
was looking
Olympia Fields. You said the name. I'm like, I can't think of
for.
it.
Yeah, Olympia Fields. Okay.
Y'all got y'all little, I like how y'all got all your little African things.
Because it's
I
Juneteenth.
am trying to get to my Juneteenth T-shirt. I'm trying to find somebody with it somewhere.
Oh yeah, this is Juneteenth. Oh,
Yeah.
See my bracelet, she got me this from Ghana.
Oh, you went to Ghana? You did go to Ghana. Did you go visit or was this business?
I was doing public health brigade. Yours is blue. The one I got for you is blue and white.
And that's a pretty, that's a nice culture.
Sierra. Thank you.
You know, us seasoned girls, I haven't had a,
She said, seasoned girls.
you know, I'll be using that all the time. I'm a seasoned girl.
That's why you can't be in pediatrics.
What y'all saying?
She always
She's getting
crying.
emotional because she got a gift from Ghana.
Aw. That is so,
She was like, it's Africa. It just speaks.
oh, that is really nice.
This is why I say, yeah, I'm
Pediatrics.
Friday. I don't think I can take some little kid saying, this is hurting me, I can't breathe, I can't speak, I can't talk, but I will get there to see if I can do it.
Yeah, it's too much. It's
She's gonna be a
really
good
too much.
nurse. For kids.
Yeah, she's gonna be
You're gonna be a
wonderful.
great nurse for
She
kids.
gonna
You are.
have to be- She got to do delivery, labor and
Oh,
delivery.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God, look at the baby.
And that's gonna, you're gonna be really shocked off of that because a whole lot of them born with drugs in the system and they just really things wrong with them, a lot of them. Then the mamas be running out of the hospital, leaving them. Yeah.
It was nice talking to you.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see you all become nurses.